22, 21, and all that's all fast today. We're live. It's EuroAsia Scrum. It's Sam and Thomas. Yeah, check in from my side. LocalSupport client meeting today. Got some bits and pieces that I will need to put together for Rachel. Yeah, we had Ichi and Tommaso working on things yesterday. Yeah, and Tommaso just messaged me. This is another Maker student saying he's going to focus on jobs for another week. I mean, I think the big challenge that we have with using Agile Ventures as a sort of a forum for Maker students is a lot of them are just in this situation, or Makers graduates, that they're all desperate to get jobs, and I don't know. I mean, it's in general terms, I think sometimes people they're so desperate to get jobs and they're so focused on the job thing that I don't know, it's almost like they can't make time for increasing their skills through sort of a project activity, and we just I don't know. I'm trying to work out a way where we can get some sort of consistent commitment, because I think it'll just be, if we'd sort of thought about doing that, I'd still end up, I guess, I have this patter that I do for Agile Ventures that where I say, it's all fine, no problem, what have you, it's all good, and and so it's because I want it to be flexible for people. I don't want to, at some level, or at least that's the attitude that we've always taken. I think. I mean, one of the things we're discussing, but in some ways, in order to get the most out, people need to commit, if you know what I mean. Like and maybe, I don't know, maybe there should be some kind of Agile Ventures premium, or anyway. And I'm thinking of writing a book, and that's about the size of it, really. None of the charities that pitched the Jamboree got accepted or selected by the students. I've offered them places in the Agile Ventures projects listings and so on. Done that for one group.
I've been thinking about this a bit. So, are you guys emphasizing the value of working on open source projects during the course?
We're trying to emphasize. Yeah, I mean, we're trying to emphasize the value of open source. I often give that talk about that. I mean, I don't think we specifically emphasize, like, throughout the course, saying, oh yes, that's what the employers want, although we have a badge for people who submit to open source things. I mean, I think it's we could certainly emphasize that more, but I think that the more the issue is that it's sort of people are sort of, their mindset is I've done the 12-week course, right, and it's now I've got to get a job, and I've got to be exclusively focused on a job. And I think the other thing is partly because they've sort of been told what to do, as it were, or what they're doing is sort of set quite aggressively through the course. There's kind of a backlash where they want to do their own thing, they want to make their own choices, and so I don't know, to the extent to which I say, look, you could derive this huge value from Agile Ventures, and you could kind of like really level up your skills. I think yeah.
So you get, what I'm trying to tell people, not only potential students, but people that I talk with about Agile Ventures and just general open source commitments. The commitment to open source project is that it's a great way to continue to grow as a developer, and that is for me personally. I always tell people it's an integrated part of me, of my identity as a developer. It's even if I work and I charge for my services, but where I learn is the open source projects.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I also, I always emphasize that the reason why I'm fairly successful as a freelancer or as a developer is because I am contributing to open source.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you believe that, and I believe that, and that partly actually that's since I've I mean, I think I feel like in some ways that there's only sometimes we can say that. That's partly what inspires me to write the book, because I kind of feel like it needs to be, the bigger story needs to be written down. I think, not that we shouldn't keep saying it to people, but I think that there's kind of, do you know what I mean? Like there's words of these, they're dust in the wind to a certain extent. Spoken word. I mean, it can be very powerful, delivered to the right person at the right time. But conversely, I think that there's we have things like, Sandy Metz, like the Pooter book, Practical Oriented Design in Ruby. I think just the nature of something being in a book and giving in a big picture, you can kind of reach out to a different level of people, or reach out to people on a different level. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Anyway,
well,
yeah, go on.
So what's the plot? I mean, what's the? Are you thinking about writing the Agile Venture story, or emphasizing this on
I think to be honest, I'm thinking about writing. We've been doing Agile Ventures for a couple of years, and I think we've had some amazing successes as part of it. I mean, I think we probably, both of us would say we haven't really reached the critical mass that we would like to have reached. But I think I kind of want to tell the story of Agile Ventures, and as a narrative from 2011 to 2015 or whatever. If that didn't make it, yeah, is that 2011 is even earlier. But of the MOOCs and the MOOC, yeah, because there's just so much that's happened, and yeah, that's my thought, to write the story of how it evolved and where it succeeded and where it hasn't succeeded as much, and to sort of investigate this issue of I think the free resource, and somehow how people potentially undervalue the free resource. I mean, I wonder in some ways, it seems to me like if I was a learner, what we're doing is like an extraordinarily valuable resource that I'm surprised that not more people just take up. But maybe that's actually, people just don't like you and me very much, or they don't, they're just.
But you said something that struck me just a few minutes ago. During the course, the students that major students are attending the course, they are told exactly what to do. And I mean, there's of course, for creativity and stuff, but I assume that the curriculum is fairly concise. Yeah, because telling them this is important and this is what you need to do.
Yeah, I mean, your audio is going there slightly. Just to recap what you were saying there. Yeah, during the course, I mean, they're not told exactly what to do, and a lot of it we want them to take their own initiative. But the general theme for each week is kind of set.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And they're supposed to be coming into the office, and there's a structure that they're within. Yeah.
Yes. And I also noticed that there is this organization called Free Code Camp, I think.
Yeah. I was chatting to the main guy.
Yeah. And I mean, they are much bigger than us. If you compare to Agile Ventures and more users, and I think that their model is kind of something in between the very structured and very precise curriculum of makers and the total kind of a freedom that we are offering to people, because we don't tell people what to do. We give them, we point them to certain features in our trackers and stuff, and then they are free to do, and it's also natural, because after, when you become a developer, you have to reach a point where you take your own, your own initiative, and you are the master of your own time, etc., etc. But I think that people want to be told what to do. I think that people are. I think that we could have had a bigger user base if we were more like, free code. I'm not saying that this is something that I want, because I value this free approach, but that could be an explanation to why we are not growing as fast as some other online communities, because we are not guiding or coaching our users so in a strict manner. But we are rather giving them a big maneuver space, and to do whatever they want to do in our projects, and also start their own projects and stuff. And I think that a lot of people that are new to as developers are feeling kind of lost in that. Apart from some personality types like Raul and John.
No, I agree with you totally. I mean, and to a certain extent, we have relied upon the front end for Agile Ventures being the MOOC, right? That's that thing, and what Free Code Camp is doing, and it kind of says, like, here's a semi-structured way of coming in through it, and then absolutely. I mean, the interesting question for us is, will the MOOC run again and provide us with a huge funnel of people coming in, and we don't necessarily need to sort of structure that ourselves or not. But yeah, I think that's certainly. But it's interesting because I mean I sort of imagine that, you know, I mean there are sort of if for example if DHH, right, the Rails guy, if he was like basically running a daily stand-up and said, you know, every day anybody around the world can come and join in, then, you know, I think there'd be a lot more people, whether they would, you know, people would on the ongoing way sort of feel that they were deriving value from it is another story. I'm not sure. But I think there's just also, it's sort of like the problem with any kind of free resource is that people, you know, are kind of like, oh, well, I can always sort of use that. And there's a, you know, lack of commitment. There's this issue of, you know, the sort of the MOOC dropout rate. There's something, I mean, there's a big part of Makers Academy that people, because they've paid a lot of money up front to get to it, they take the whole thing much more seriously. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's a big factor. Going back to Free CodeCamp, I mean, absolutely. I was sort of chatting with the founder of that, and I think it's an interesting model. I'm not sure what sort of numbers they have or how many active projects they have running. Have you got some sense of that?
I visited their site just like 2-3 months ago. I can't quite remember.
No.
What I sensed back then is that they don't have too many active projects. I mean, I think that they're at the same level as us, or even, you know, slightly less projects, which is quite surprising because they have such a huge amount of developers or huge amount of people signed up for their site.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at that. They're using Gitter as their chat, and I'm seeing they've got 7,800 people signed into their Gitter, which that's maybe a reflection of how easy it is to sign into Gitter. If I look at Agile Ventures, we've got 500 people in our team directory there, but I think that maybe that's more. I mean, I think also then the Free CodeCamp, they're based in, you know, in Silicon Valley, and they're more strongly, you know, we are to an extent more of a European organization, and I think, you know, they're over there hooked into a.
Although you know, a very big portion of our signed up members are from the United States.
Sure, absolutely.
So, but I think, you know, their success is that they are more structured, you know, and they are more like something between a MOOC and a community. Which I'm not saying that this is something that we need to do, because not at all.
No,
just, you know, because I value the model that we have, and the people that are active in our community are. I sense at least that they are very active, you know.
Well, I think that
but of course, I wish we had, like, you know, a few hundred of very, very active people, and that would attract at least another 1,000 of you know, people.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Basically, you know.
Yeah, success, you know, breeds success, as they say. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely an interesting model. I mean, I think it validates the idea. I mean, there's this beautiful idea that the, you know, learners can go get involved in projects that you know, helping make the world a better place. And it's sort of, I mean, you know, the Free CodeCamp, because they're providing the whole pathway. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. Very, very solid. But yeah, I mean, I think what we have is, you know, the people that kind of really got I think the people who really got all in with us at the beginning and then have stayed around, it's become, you know, like an ongoing thing for them. I mean, but I guess that's part of what it is. Like any community that you're joining and you're interacting with certain sort of people, you know, it's like you're going to be, is that for me? Do you enjoy the banter? Do you enjoy the conversation with those kinds of people and so on? So, you know, anyway, I think we should probably wrap up there. Did you have anything else to report?
No. I'm good. I didn't do much yesterday, unfortunately. So, but I'll try to be in the next Scrum this afternoon.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that sounds good. Did we do that thing for Alejandro?
Yeah, we are in the process of doing that. I have it fixed today.
Well, I guess that's what you said yesterday. I mean,
yeah, I know. The thing is that I didn't have my credit card with me, so I couldn't process that. But I have that with me now.
Yeah, I guess it's like Alejandro asked us this on like, it sounded like 5 days ago, and I think neither you or I replied. I mean, I can do it right now. Like,
okay, well, you know,
why don't I go
in the office for another hour or so? But
yeah,
I was planning to. I was hoping you wouldn't ask, so I just could have done it in the background.
Yeah, let me go ahead and do it. Just, you know, you've got a busy thing. Other stuff's going to happen. I can just do it now and get it out of the way, and then it's done, and it's one less thing for you to worry about. And,
Okay, all right.
Yeah?
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. All right, nice one. I'll check in with you later.
Absolutely.
All
All
right,
right, take it
Thomas.
easy. Ciao.
Take care.
Cheers.